So there's about a 10-minute gap in recording last episode and this episode, and this music keeps, like, repeating itself. And I keep listening to it and singing Helicopter by Block Party. It's really off-putting. Anyway, you insulted everyone. Do you not notice? I have not insulted anyone. You made everybody angry and uncomfortable. That's why they left. You were mean. Do you really not see it? But I am not insulting people. That is not what is happening. Mark frowned and shook his head. I am leaving, yes? Then he, like everybody else, took his plate and left. Well, that was a great dinner, wasn't it? Sighing, I finished my food alone. Yep, figured as much. Figured as much. He's never gonna learn. We're just gonna have to deal with it. I ran into Assie in the hallway. I waved to her, trying to be friendly, but she just looked at me with disgust. So much for that, then. What did you expect? Happiness? Magical? Cuddles? Hey, Angie, ready to work today? Stop calling him Angie. Yeah. I frowned. Usually, if I called Angelo Angie, he would immediately complain. That's a girl's name, not mine. It was basically a running joke by now, but this time I only got silence. You feeling up to it today? Yeah. He avoided my eyes staring at the floor. I'll wait by the elevator. Then he left for the hall. What was going on with him? As the day wore on, it only got worse. Angelo, can you pass me that cloth? He grabbed the cloth and held it in the direction of my voice staring at the floor. Toss it here. He threw it without even aiming, and I squeaked. I leapt to one side, catching it out of the air and narrowly avoiding knocking a glass of water into the guest's laptop. What's wrong with you? Do you not see what almost happened? What are you talking about? Now he was looking at me angrily. You almost ruined that computer. We could have lost our jobs. But nothing happened, so it's fine. Results-orientated is a really bad idea, Angelo. Why have you been acting weird all day? What's up with you? He grunted and scuffed his feet on the floor. I'm not going to finish doing this room until you tell me. You can do all the work yourself if you want, but I'm waiting. He looked at me, eyes knitted together in desperation. He glanced at the bed, the dresser, the bathroom, then back at me, bouncing up and down like a little boy. Is this where he tells me that I'm fired? Ah, fine, fine. I'm annoyed that people are so constantly treating me like a girl. I don't look like a girl, do I? But because of a mistake with my name, people assumed I was a woman. And now I'm forced to do women's work day in, day out. No! Oh, there's so many things wrong with what you just said. Angelo for the first name isn't a girl's name. Michelangelo, mate. That's what everyone's thinking of when the name Angelo is mentioned. He was a guy, a dude. I still didn't think that was the reason the program assigned him to work here. I actually worked at a pub and she was definitely a woman. But he was so fixed on this stupid idea. What's wrong with women's work? There is nothing wrong with women's work. I respect it and women very much. Anyone who says that almost definitely doesn't. Or there's some sort of like insecurity there, you know? But I am not a woman. I wouldn't ask a woman to do my job. That would be disrespectful towards her. Yes, but not for the reasons you think it would be. I am being made to do a woman's job, which is disrespectful towards me. Before you came, I accepted this mistake, but recently it has begun to grate on me. What makes you think it's disrespectful? Angelo looked at me as if I had grown a second head. Of course it is disrespectful. I would never ask my sisters to do my work at home. I helped them carry the heaviest groceries, and they did my laundry without protest. I would not ask them to move the furniture or carry out repairs in the house. Ugh. If they stepped in to finish my work, it would mean I hadn't done my job quickly enough and they were impatient. It was an insult in a way. If one of us overstepped our boundaries, it means we weren't being capable. We were not being good women and men, so of course it is disrespectful. I see. Okay, now I don't know how to tell you this, but you would literally fuck off. It's not the 1920s anymore, Angelo. I don't even know what you mean by being good women and men. Women and men can do whatever they like. They can share the same jobs. It's not a big deal. Angelo frowned at me. Of course they can. In fact, we are doing it now, but that doesn't change the fact that it is disrespectful towards me. I shook my head. No, you're not getting it. It's not disrespectful. Not in the real world. There's no such thing as women's work. Just work. In the real world, are you saying I've been living in a playpen until now? Apparently so, yes! No, but your family isn't the universal standard. Most people have progressed beyond that point. So my family has no progress now. You think we are primitive, backwards? Do you think my family oppresses my sisters? Are my mama and my sisters being kept in tow by me? You don't know anything about how my family lives or what my life is like. I love my sisters. I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. But a paragon of fucking women's rights in the Middle East is, hey, they're allowed to see guests, you know? Like, that doesn't make it any better. They think they're doing fine, and that's great. But then, with the rest of the world, you see my point, Angelo? It's a very, very difficult, awkward topic you've brought up, but you're definitely wrong. That's not what I chose in my choice. I said get over it. I didn't call his family fucking heathens from the Dark Age. Please, let's finish this room right now. He went into the bathroom and turned on the bathtub's water. He wouldn't hear me over that unless I was shouting at him. Frustrated, I grabbed my cloth and resumed dusting the dressers. The rest of the day passed by well enough. Since Angelo had gotten everything off his chest, I hoped he could now see how silly he was being. No. But good luck! Regardless, we finished work early and headed for home. So far, we've managed to piss everyone off. This is going quite well. Not a day goes by, though, where someone doesn't knock on my door. Hello? Okay, big one, just make the rounds to top up the loo roll. To do what? He handed me 2 rolls of toilet paper. Oh, thanks. There's usually some stored in the kitchen, but James won't stock too much in case someone nicks it. Try not to run out. Yeah, that would be awkward. He waved and headed on the next door down. That's what he came to say. Oh, I'm glad that was the scene. It was the first thing in the morning. I'd barely woken up when I heard a soft knock on my door. Oh my god! Come on now! I should just put a do not knock sign on my door. I opened it up and looked out to see Mark. Yes? What are you doing here? Ah, so I wanted to apologise. Apologise? For what? The other night at dinner. Okay. But what are you apologising for? After reflecting a bit on what you said, I realised that you were correct, and I insulted everyone at the table, including you, and was rude about it. I didn't see the error of my own ways. Are you genuinely apologising, or do you just want to come in and use that silk underwear? I am apologising to everybody else as well, but I wanted to make sure you knew that I appreciated your words. Oh, I wasn't sure how to respond. To tell the truth, I was shocked. It was a direct, simple, straightforward apology. I rarely ever received straightforward apology, even in situations that deserved it. Like a huge fight among friends or family. We're not even going to go there. Now a total stranger was apologising to me for remarks most people would simply have forgotten about. Look, he's Hawkwind. He has a lot of time to reflect when washing his hair. Well, thank you. It's no problem, but may I tell you something? I blinked at him, and after a moment's hesitation, he continued. I've been very confused. I don't think I can talk to people very well normally without them becoming angry. Since the other night, I've been noticing it in almost everybody I talk to. It was worse than I thought. It's been a bit of a problem, because I think everybody's avoiding me now. People are not so sensitive in France as they are here. Of course you're French. Of course you're French. Why would you not be French? I joked about this last time. But you're called Mark, so I presumed that you were English. Sure, why not? He laughed at me merrily, but I didn't see the joke. Was he French then? He didn't sound French to me. Maybe I was too used to parody French accents. Well, I don't want to put on a charade and pretend to be something I'm not, or to respond less than honestly to them, but my genuine responses seem to arouse anger. It's a conundrum. What should I do about it? Most people tell little white lies. I mean, he didn't have to lie, did he? It's just the way he did it. It's the phrasing that you're, like, really fucking up, Treacle. I think you're phrasing your opinions too bluntly. I'm pretty sure there are ways you could put what you want to say that don't seem quite so aggressive. I see. He tapped the tip of his chin with a slender finger. Look, this is why you don't talk to the French. They're scary people. 5 seconds and he'll sleep with your wife. Instantly, you won't even know it's happened. Don't trust the French. Scary people. It seems like I'll give this more thought. Anyways, thank you for your help. You are a kind person. I know... Well, I realised I'm probably not the easiest person to deal with. I mean, no, you're great. You're great. Thank you for dealing with me. You're welcome. He beamed at me and my heart felt oddly lighter. You know I'm usually by myself reading books in the library, up in the philosophy section. You should come visit me sometime. He waved happily and skipped off down the hallway. Considering he was now more aware that no one around here liked him, it was odd that he was so happy. Well, with that done, it was time to get on with my day. Hopefully he starts phrasing things properly. Oh, what do you think of my outfit? I think it looks awful. See, what you're supposed to say there is... I don't know how you phrase that properly. That would be a time to white lie. That's a bad example. I had just finished eating when Peggy sprinted into the dining room upon seeing me. She lunged for my hands. Oh, someone's messaging me on League, for God's sake. Close that now. Okay, Piggo, I need your help. Okay, with what? Danny has team tryouts today. Football tryouts, and I want to try, but I don't want to go alone. Scared I'll make an idiot of myself. Do you know what I mean? I know you're into sport and were part of some teams back in the States. Won't you go with me? Joining his team would be a great way to impress Danny and spend some more time with him, possibly Peggy as well. I mean, will this close it off if I now do this? Will this close something else off? Because I also want to talk to... What's her face? The blonde one in the pub? You know, she made such a lasting effect on me that I can't remember her name. Well, I'll find out, won't I? I guess I'll go along. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, Piggy, thank you so much. I knew I could count on you. We'd better get going then. Wait, it's happening right now? Of course, come on. It's not like we're doing anything else. Peggy took me by the hand, jogging down the street to the nearby park, explaining as she went by. This looks awful. Why would you play football here? You'd almost certain the ball would go in the lake quite a lot. It's a university team, but not the university team, and we're allowed to go since we're technically part of the university despite you not being from England, so it totally works out. Danny's the captain, as you'd expect from him, and the team is open to men and women, so which is why we can both apply. Okay. The day was pretty mild for January, but it was chilly outside, though I supposed if we were going to play soccer, we'd warm up fast enough. Sort of. It's also called football, don't call it soccer again. She rounded a corner into the park and said a bleachers appeared, along with a ragtag group of people nearby. Danny stood before them, hands on hips. Right, so this is his football outfit, is it? A shirt and trousers, classic. Next we'll have a basic skirmish so I can get a feel for how you work together. Everyone nodded and assumed positions, which must have been assigned some time beforehand. Danny! Peggy waved enthusiastically and Danny looked at us in surprise. Hopefully good surprise and not, oh god, what are they doing here, sort of surprise. Hey, what are you two doing here? What do you think? We're here to try for the team. A wry smile crossed his face. Are you now? Yes, we are. What? Don't think we can do it? I mean, he's not Angelo. He's not going to try and claim that sort of stuff. Oh, God. Imagine once we get to the point where Angelo finds out that we're doing unwomanly-like sports. Oh, he's going to cry. Also, I just realised that her shirt says knob on it. It's a fun fact. I didn't say that. If you're really up for it, you can join the team on the right. Peggy, take over as goalkeeper. Okay, Peggy, you can be a forward. Right. So you're putting the skinny athletic one in goal, and you're putting me, the larger one, as a forward. Right. But will do. Peggy dashed away, and I was left standing awkwardly in front of Danny, not sure what to do. Everything all right? I didn't really know how to play football. At least not league football. But not officially. I played with friends, but football was never really my sport. Ah, you'll figure it out. If you get near the ball, kick it. Otherwise, try not to get knocked down. He clapped me on the back, smiling. If it wasn't for his friendly and open attitude, I would have thought he wanted me to fail. For laughs. Probably does. So the skirmish happened. It was probably one of the most embarrassing things I'd ever done. I wasn't used to being bad at sports. I always had a knack for them and took to them so easily, from track to swimming to basketball. Or so I thought, but soccer was something different. Oh, bollocks! I said the word. I wasn't as coordinated with my feet as I thought. The one time I got the ball and shot it at the goal, I hit Peggy smack in the face. Then her nose started bleeding, and I volunteered to walk her to the bleachers and take care of her. Danny, doubled over with laughter, agreed. I don't know what the bleachers are. I've never heard of this before. Also, to be fair, if you shoot a goal and then it hits Peggy in the face, that's her fault. She's a goalkeeper. She's allowed to use her hands if she wants to. So So Peggy and I didn't make the team. No sweat off my back. I didn't need another mandatory meeting every other day. Well, maybe some other team will take us. Maybe they'll take you. I think I've had enough of joining. Oh. Hey, it was fun to try out. I just don't want to take too much of my time with sports this year. I'm already tired from working. Oh, you're already tired out from working. Got it. Right, well, next up, volleyball. Volleyball? It made totally sense for her hyper personality, but not for her height. I mean, I know a lacrosse team, and they're not particularly good at it. It's amazing the amount of, like, clubs you join in university only for socials. Since I've come all the way to another country, I should probably spend some time exploring, shouldn't I? Right. So there's a theatre in the middle of a square. Hang on. There's a theatre and a cinema. Right. That seems conflicting. Also, shop. Good. I'm glad they're so concise that they're selling something. What? Who knows? But they are indeed selling something. We have here a restaurant. It's good to see that they're telling us what they're making. It's light blue, so I'll presume it's a salad and health place. There's another restaurant over there. That looks like the resident McDonald's, if ever there was one. I'm going to presume this is an Asian restaurant here. Oh, this is the cinema. Now showing. Dude walks into window and is embarrassed. Add foreign film with subtitles that pseudo-clever people can go to watch and make themselves feel clever. What an amazing looking thing. Also, again, not London. There's not enough chewing gum on the floor. I left the hostel and took off down a street, unsure of where I was going, but not really caring. I did this often when I lived in New York. Just wander. Usually I found an interesting shop, or at least ended up with a story to tell. Now, though, I felt completely confused. The streets of London were both very different and not different at all. The air was thinner and it felt better to breathe. When I signed up for this program, I was warned that most Americans would get sick in the first 2 weeks of living in London because of the air pollution, the London smog. Coming from New York City, though, it didn't bother me a bit. Hey, we don't have a smog, I promise. That dark, overarching, horrible cloud and illnesses are, you know, someone else's fault. It's magic, is what I'm trying to say. Professor Layton was in a place once, and there was evilness. It's the same thing. It's all magic. I kept noticing the architecture. I mean, they just look like buildings to me. The older style of buildings reminded me so much of home, but these buildings were cleaner and clearly older. Funny that. The walkways? Walkways? The people who were rejected. The walkways, pavements, were broad and clear, and in the business districts, giant plazas with people in business suits and sharp English accents. Everything was so similar but so different. I felt like I was walking through plastic, not really connected to anything I was seeing. In no time I felt exhausted. I hadn't walked too far, but maybe the stimulation was too much, or maybe I was still jet-lagged. Probably not. I collapsed into a cafe near a park. Hang on a minute, what? The sun is setting here. The sun is setting. Why is the sun, I guess... Maybe? I guess the sun is set close enough, because you can still see the yellow along the horizon. I don't know. I collapsed into a cafe seat near a park. Hopefully the owner wouldn't mind too much that I was mooching. They probably got people like me all the time, so I hope they were used to it. Oh. Yeah, I hate people that do that. As I rubbed my sore neck, something caught my eye. A young Asian woman with short black hair and thick-rimmed glasses stood over a canvas, muttering under her breath. Oh god, she's got like Velma from Scooby-Doo glasses. If I come over there and you quoted an equation at me, I'm going to cry. At least I think it was supposed to be under her breath, but I could hear her from here. Supposed to capture the light if it keeps moving? I don't think it would be so. She seemed frustrated about her painting. I tilted my head a bit to catch more of a glimpse of what she was working on. I think it was a stylized landscape of the park, I think. I tilted my head the other way. No, it was a realistic watercolour, wasn't it? What was she trying to do? Curious, I got up and sidled over to her, hoping I didn't seem too creepy. You do? It didn't make any better sense from this angle. But from the looks of the woman, she was an artist. How's it taken you that long to notice? She had that whole bohemian thing that suggested that for her. It was all about the flow of things. Man, dude, etc. I glanced at her again and accidentally made eye contact. What do you think? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, I just wanted a better look, I was curious. What do you think? It looks good? I'm a little... What are you trying for here? I wanted to capture the landscape as I see it. What does that mean, from your perspective, or...? Yes, from my perspective, not point of view, not specific location. Well, I mean, yes, a specific location, but also my perspective. I'm glad you're making this nice and easy for us. Boy, I hope this is the first time and last time I speak to you. Okay. She had a foreign accent of some sort, but that wasn't the reason I found her words a little bit hard to follow. Actually, there was something familiar about her voice, but I couldn't quite... What do you feel when you look at this? Confused, but I would never actually tell her that. It seems a little morose and a little maybe... Do you have a lot on your mind? I don't know what morose means. It seems like you're looking for something but not really finding it. That's how I put it, I think. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. You didn't insult me. Her tone of voice suggested otherwise, though. She was silent for a bit as I continued to feign interest in her canvas. At this point, the conversation was awkward. I wanted out of there as soon as possible, but couldn't really think of a way to get going. What should I do? This is why I never talk to strangers. It's cool. I looked up, startled. I mean, not everybody gets art, you know? Everybody's got their own place. We all got our own paths, man. I nodded slowly. Her demeanour seemed to have changed, but I didn't quite know how to feel about it. Well, she's being evil. You could tell that because her face has done that stereotypical thing where her glasses have been whited out. I'm Jihyo. By the way, if you couldn't tell, I'm not from around here. I could tell. She's Korean. That's why her voice reminded me a little bit of Jinsu. I'm Oggy Piggy. Me neither. I'm from New York and staying in a hostel a few blocks away. Are you? I am too. Mine was called The One. It's decent enough. It does what I needed to do. How are there so many people staying there? Like everyone we meet. Wait, The One? But that's where I'm staying. Is it? Why haven't I seen you around? I've been there a few days already and I haven't seen you eating with us. Oh, I've been busy sketching and trying to scout the perfect location, you know. Art never sleeps. When I get that drive, I just have to go out and start painting. She's fucking crazy. How long have you been doing art? It's hard for me to figure that out. A long time, as long as I can remember. Off and on, I guess. I didn't start seriously pursuing it until a few years ago. That's pretty cool. Yeah, man, cool. Super cool, yo. That was again. What was that weird tone? Anyways, I'm going to be heading back now. The lighting shifted, so I might as well just go work out on it in the hostel. Let me come with you. Sure, if you say so. I wish to pack up a massive array of paints, brushes, easel, and canvas into a black bag nearly as big as she was. The only time I'd ever seen people with bags like those was in movies, so I was kind of surprised. She's a weirdo. We should run as soon as possible. The hostel was only a few blocks away, so we made it in little under 5 minutes, making fairly polite conversation. Well, it was nice to meet you, Oggy Piggy. I'm now going to shut myself away and remind myself why I don't talk to Americans. Oh, that's not what she said. Sorry, I misread it. Very easy, you know. Maybe I'll see you around some more. She left before I think of something better than to say than yeah. As I headed for the bathroom, I realised how hard my heart was pounding. I'd just sustained an entire conversation with a stranger in London and even made a new friend. I wouldn't say friend, but sure. What a good day. It's... To suggest that a friend was made from that conversation... Yeah, violently optimistic. Violently optimistic.